Hello and welcome to today's show. It has been just over 2 weeks since the release of the PS5 Pro, and I did cover the hybrid games and the two native VR games that did get patches, and I will leave links to those videos in the description. But over the last 2 weeks I have seen quite a few people online talk about other games that have not had Pro patches and saying that they do now run a lot better. One of these games is of course Vertigo 2, because that's why we're here, mate. And the performance in this game was absolutely terrible. I unfortunately had to abandon this game because of the performance. I got to a big boss battle and the frame drops were so intense it was just making me feel sick, and I just haven't really played it since. I can tell you though, from what I remember, the graphics look exactly the same. The graphics aren't bad in this game at all, but the motion blur, the reprojection to the hands and the weapons is almost unbearable for me. That, along with the terrible performance, made me really regret buying this game, so let's go and see if it's any better. Right, here we are. The last time I played through this level, the performance was unbearable, and when I got to the boss at the end, I just had to quit. So let's see if it's any better. The motion blur reprojection in this game is, oh my god. I think the last time I covered this game when it was released, I think it was that bad. I think you could see it in the capture. I'm not sure if you'll see that now, but before it was that bad. You could literally see it in the capture. It's still a little bit wobbly. There's a slight little bit of jitter there, but it's nothing like it was. It's really not perfect still, but it's playable now. Do you know what I mean? Like I could play through this, I think. Yeah, this bit's a little bit shaky. I don't like this water. Come here, you. Oh, the reprojection on all that blood is awful. Whoa. It is still a bit wobbly, it is still a little bit shaky, and that motion reprojection is just, it's sickening. Is it more playable than it was? Yes, but really, this game could do with some performance updates. Right, let's move on to the next game. Up next, we are checking out After the Fall, which I can immediately see looks basically the same. I don't know if it looks slightly clearer. I have played super amounts of this game, and I do remember it looking a bit fuzzier. Not to say that it's perfect, there is still a lot of aliasing, especially where there's a lot of light. Lots of jagged edges that do tend to move and flicker. The reprojection is still the same. This game did suffer from performance issues, frame rate issues, especially since there are a lot of enemies on the screen at once. So let's go and see if it's the same. Excuse me, Jen.
Let's go.
Right, let's go. The frame rate seems to be a bit more stable there when there's a lot of enemies on screen. I think we need to get a few more though, just to be sure. There we go. Jesus. Whoop. Yeah, normally you'd get a bit of a frame dip there when Eater would explode, but no, pretty smooth so far. No frame drop there with the explosion. Right, as far as I can tell, this is running a lot smoother than I remember. If there have been even the slightest frame dips, I've not noticed them. So moving swiftly on. Moving on to Horizon Call of the Mountain. I've heard a few people say that this game runs a little bit better. I didn't think the performance in this game was that bad really. I mean, I've experienced a few frame dips here and there during combat or taking a big leap, but nothing really too big at all. But of course, the big drawback to this game is the heavy reprojection. It is super bad. I'm sure you won't see it on the capture, but this is one of the worst games for it. The graphics are of course fantastic though, and I can't really see it looking any different than it did before. I do like that you can mess with the grass and stuff though, that is pretty cool. And you can feel it in the controller. You still get that terrible wobbly blurred edge to the environment as you climb through. But other than that, this is a fantastic looking game, there is no doubt. Hello. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Way too close.
Woo! This takes a while though, doesn't it, really? Could be quicker, this.
There it is. Guess it's you and me, Scrapper.
Hello!
Do I take a shot? Something's alerted them.
Oh no. Nice. Yeah, this game basically looks the same as I remember. I can't really tell if it's running any better, and the reprojection is still absolutely awful. Moving on. And finally for today, we are checking out Arizona Sunshine Remake, which did run okay. There were some performance issues throughout the game up until this point. The odd frame drop here and there, especially when there's an explosion. Normally the explosions in this game would cause quite a few frame drops, which does not seem to be happening now. The real issue I had with this game was that when I got to this section of the game and got on the train and the horde came, the frame drops in that section of the game were unbearable, and I did have to just stop playing and just abandon the game because everything from this point on was literally unplayable. Right, here we go. I have put this on a bit of a harder difficulty so there would be more zombies on the screen at once. Really push it to the maximum. I've probably done myself a bit of a mischief there because now I'll probably die.
Hey, you have to pay for a ticket.
Back it up. The reprojection is still really awful, especially when there's a lot of blood on screen, a lot of things splashing around. It does get a bit swimmy. I am in trouble here, aren't I? I am in trouble.
Gunfight on top. Pretty badass. I know it's not a moving train.
Eat a sausage.
Pretty badass.
This is much smoother. I'm not getting any frame dips of any kind, and that is good news, because like I say, from this point on in the game, it was literally unplayable for me. Obviously the game doesn't look any better, but yeah, the performance is greatly improved. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching if you did, and I'll see you on the next one.